Google is out with a new artificial intelligence tool. The AI assistant could help with projects like research and even video gaming.
The experimental tool can browse spreadsheets, shopping sites, and other services. But is it pushing AI in the right direction? Here with us to talk about it, Tim Gillen from Terrapin Networks in Traverse City. Always a pleasure, Tim. And I feel like, man, we're talking about this a lot, but it's because it seems like every week there's a new AI system coming out, and we're all kind of being pushed to use it. The thing that pops in my head immediately is Meta. You cannot get on Facebook and search for anything anymore without them forcing their AI upon you. So, how is this the right direction we're going in, or is this kind of being treated like the Wild West?
Well, I'm kind of with you there. It's kind of being treated like the Wild West. They are determined to get this technology moving forward. You know, the only way they can really do that is with actual users. That's why I think we're seeing all this. And you know, this AI stuff, we do need some discussion on it. The computing power it takes to run just one AI server farm could power a small city, like a city-sized Cadillac. They use that much power.
Wow.
That much computing power, which requires that much electricity. And electricity both for the computing power and for the cooling, because those servers generate a lot of heat.
One AI?
So, yeah, it's insane. It's really quite off the charts when you look into that. We could chat about that sometime, how much energy this AI is taking. It's along the lines of crypto, which also is all based on tons of calculating power, which requires server farms, which requires tons of regular electricity, and the kind of electricity that can't be generated by anything that's non-renewable at this point, because or that is renewable, because they just can't keep up. So it's all natural gas. Nuclear probably will show up, but this latest thing from Google here is talking about they're trying to move this on. So not just where you ask a question on the web, or like Meta, you're in Facebook and it shoves out stuff to the algorithm. Now they're thinking here, what they want people to start actually helping them test is it'll fill out a website for you, right? You don't have to go through. So you might, whether it's shopping, whether it's forms, maybe plane tickets, hotel reservations, it can not only help you search for them, but will actually fill it out for you. But it's slower than molasses right now. It's an early iteration of this. It won't let you leave the screen because it doesn't want, that way you know it's not doing stuff in the background you don't want it to do. It also won't do any EULAs for you. It won't agree to any terms of service. It won't put credit card information in. So they're putting all these limitations in so that people will maybe trust it a bit better.
Okay.
But at this point, it's very, very early. So you got to want to be a player in this, or want to be part of it. Now, anyone can join. For example, Google's. You go out to deepmind.google. Google has a top level domain at TLD like .com. Deepmind.google, and you can actually request to be part of the beta for some of this. I'll let somebody else do that personally. I'm watching this closely. I don't know that I need them filling out a form for me with my.
No, thank you.
Yeah, not quite. You. Well, I'll wait for that to play out a little bit farther. But anyway, if people are interested, that's where you can go. And they've renamed this agent that will fill out things for you. It's called Jarvis. That's the Google name. Everybody has their little names for it, and it looks promising if you're into that kind of thing. I'm still not sure. Will this be our future 5, 10, 20 years from now? It potentially could be.
Tim, let me ask you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me ask you too. One of the things that has come up, I think, with you before, but I'm constantly hearing about what is the actual source of the AI info?
Yes.
What is the intelligence? And that's a concern for a lot of people about not only safety and security, but also accuracy. I mean, I've seen some beta tests, for example, AI in news articles where you just have a computer write it, but it's not actually correct. So what's the source of that?
And on that note, if you could tack onto that, what about intellectual property as well? There seems to be no guardrails for this whatsoever.
That's a huge issue. Now let's take Eric's first, and then we'll talk about Bill's. The intellectual property. So I combine the two. Where do they get this information? They scrub the internets. Every website is this is where part of the calculation is coming from. The first part of the calculation is just sucking up all this information. Now that includes private intellectual property. There's no way that it determines if it's a TechCrunch article that's copyrighted or some random person's blog, which should belong to them anyway, but it still brings all that up. So that's the first part of the calculating power. Second part then now is to be able to very quickly through calculations, you ask a question and it gathers all this data and tries to parse it out and give you a nice little response. Now, it might be a news article that you can, at this point, still pretty much tell when it's written by AI. Might be a movie script. That's why there was that big strike a year or two ago with the Screenwriters Guild, because so many of these movie scripts, the screenwriters are thinking, what would be neat? You know, I want a handsome secret agent and a pretty femme fatale. Make me a story with 3 car explosions, and boom, you have a script. And that's what the screenwriters are afraid of. Talk to any public school teacher in high school or private school. Talk to a teacher in high school and college, what they're having to do to try to read papers and try to determine when they're AI.
Yeah,
that's so tough.
Tim, let me ask you. We just have I don't know, about 30 seconds left, so short answer is okay here. But I mean, we talk about the accuracy. Like if someone is posted online, apples are blue and the sky is red, that information could then be soaked into the AI, and who knows what it's actually going to spit out. I'm also curious too, again, just the last few seconds here, about how far you think this will go before Congress gets involved, before the White House, before the federal government says, hold on, we need this for national security's sake. I mean, is that part of the reason why companies are moving so quickly to push it out now?
Feels like the cart's way before the horse.
I think you're both right on that. And I think companies they're trying to stay ahead of that, because at some point they are afraid the clamps are going to come down. So the more they can get done now using the public, so when we talk about scraping the internet for everything, it's all of our information. We are the source of the information. You, me, and everybody. Yeah. And so they want to get as much of that done and get these agents working as far along as they can before the clamps start coming. That's my sense of it. Yeah. That's just a hunch. It sounds like it's not unlike what both you were thinking too.
Exactly.
I think that's probably what's happening.
Well, Tim, always great to have your input. Always. Thank you so much for your time, and we would like to artificially wish you a happy holiday season and a joyous New Year.
Wait.
My AI agent extends you the happiest of holidays.
Yes.
AI says happy holidays as well. We're all good. We're safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Tim Gillen from Terrapin Networks with us on the show.